Shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna make Kabanosy snack sticks. Kabanosy are fancy Slim Jims. So today we're gonna show you how to make it. You'll definitely need a weight scale to get the exact product. Everything is measured by grams. You're gonna need 200 grams of 80/20 ground beef, 800 grams of country-style boneless pork ribs, 18 grams of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of Hoff's hot sauce, 3 grams of sugar, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And also you're gonna need 100 milliliters of water. Earlier I did the measuring of all of our meat. We measured out our ground beef and our pork. We cubed the pork. We made sure we cubed our pork because so it can obviously fit into the meat grinder, but also so all the ingredients could coat each piece of meat evenly. So here we have our wet ingredients and dry ingredients. We already prepared them so they're ready to go, so it's not a big mess. You're gonna add your ingredients once all your meat is measured out and prepared. And now we're gonna add these two in here. So the water, the reason we add the water into our meat mixture is because the water makes the beef into a binder. You're gonna pour all your ingredients in and we're gonna mix it by hand for about 2 minutes. So just pour it in however you like. Okay, and then adding the dry ingredients. And then I'm gonna grab some gloves and mix it all together so it kind of becomes glue. Because with this recipe, we're not using the sausage casings because they're such a pain in the butt, and we want to make sure that this meat like sticks together really well. All right, put your gloves on if you like. You'll definitely need gloves because this stuff will stick like crazy to anything. So make sure you have any kind of gloves at home. I am gonna mix this mixture for about 2 minutes until it's all combined really well and it's like all almost like glued together and all the ingredients are mixed in. So the best way to mix this meat is to do like a J-fold. You just go from under and up and push it all together. Every year, my dad would make his famous sausage and it would only be on the holidays because it's so fatty. And he would make it for us every year and it's like the best thing in the world. But he uses the sausage casings, which I'm not really a big fan of it, and it's a lot of work actually to get those casings from not popping and actually staying all together. But maybe one year we'll try with the sausage casings, but no promises. Maybe I'll try with my dad. He'll teach us how to do it. So we are done mixing our meat. Now we're gonna prep our mixer for the mincing of the meat. You don't need anything crazy. This is just a regular KitchenAid little meat grinder. I'm just gonna move this real quick to the other side. You can actually get these on sale here and there. We picked one up at Target. I think it was super cheap. Here we have some old bread. This bread is just to push through all the meat at the very end so it cleans out this entire part right here. We're gonna grab our meat and get ready. We're gonna run it through twice just to make sure we don't have like super big pieces when you bite down on it and it's like huge chunk, and it really makes it emulsified, like really, really small pieces. All right, we have our little plunger. I'm just gonna get a few handfuls and just kind of push it down right now and fill up this little area. Good. I'm gonna turn it on to like 2 or 3. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And you're just gonna get your little plunger and just push. So we're just slowly pushing it down, just letting it do its thing. You don't have to go crazy. So we are done with our first round of the meat grinding, and now we're gonna start on the second round. So this looks like just a regular sausage mix. We kind of want it to be more like a hot dog consistency, so we're gonna run it through like twice. So I should probably grab another bowl. This is gonna help us later, since we're not gonna use the casing. It's gonna help the meat really stick together really well. You even cut it with scissors even before it's done. That's how crazy glued it's gonna be. But boy, are these gonna be yummy. So once I'm done mixing this, we're gonna put this in the fridge for about 2 days, and then we're gonna see you guys whenever it's all done and marinated. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in 2 days. It's been 2 days since we marinated our Kabanosy, and today we're gonna make it into links and put it on the smoker. We're using a pellet smoker, so the heat temp is consistent. We already started our smoker. On the smoker, there's a setting called smoking setting. It's below 150 degrees, so you're gonna want to set your smoker for your sausage link. And then you'll need your wire rack and some parchment paper. The wire rack works as a pizza peel almost, where you slide the links off right into your smoker. So it's a lot easier instead of like playing around with it and like scraping it off. So it's just easier for them to like swipe right into the smoker. We're using parchment paper for our recipe today because the sausage links, the Kabanosys, actually stay really, really well on the parchment paper. They don't actually rip off. We used butcher paper. We tested this recipe, but we used the butcher paper, and the Kabanosys kept sticking to it, and whenever we would take the links off, the paper would be left on the sausage link. So you will need your meat grinder. Whatever grinder you have is cool, but we're using this attachment piece so our Kabanosys come out like a Slim Jim. I'm putting on my gloves because I definitely don't want to dig in there with my hands unless you want to, and make sure you have some scissors. And we're gonna grab our meat. I decided I'm gonna put the meat in here and then hold my rack like about this height, and I'm gonna slowly let the link go out, and then I'll grab my scissors. I feel like this process is a little bit weird, but it works. And then we're gonna trim it. Let's try it out, see if it works. I'm gonna grab a handful of this meat and pack it in there real quick. I packed the meat up here so it's easier for me to kind of like push it down easier and hold the rack. It's almost impossible to have one clean hand because you're going to be grabbing scissors and cutting it and pushing and stopping, and let's get started. As you get the hang of it, you want to go a little bit slow. Don't go crazy because you're gonna be doing multiple things. You're gonna be shutting this off and you're gonna be cutting it. What I did, I actually cut it before I shut it off quickly, so then it stops the meat. And what I realized is that don't put a bunch of meat up here at the top of the grinder, because then it's quicker for you to stop it. And also a bunch of meat is not like popping out quick. So let's try the second one here. Let me do a second one. And don't worry about it being perfectly straight. You can fix it later and kind of have a little spacing in between them as well. Only thing is, whenever there's air, you kind of want to wiggle it because sometimes they'll get stuck. And they will shrink a little bit in the smoker too. So here we go. We're gonna trim it, turn it off, and then I'll just fix it a little bit like this. And don't push down too hard because then you'll kind of misshapen the sausage. This is why we love parchment paper, because you can actually move it on the parchment paper. Look at that. It's just the air keeps getting stuck in there. Gotta have to maneuver it around a little bit. So you're gonna put it in as far as it can go, and you're just gonna swipe it off slowly. Oh, yeah, there we go. Perfect, look at that. Any of them get messed up, you can adjust them. I'm gonna put this one in. I'm gonna go grab my last batch. Okay, last batch. Slide. So they're gonna be in there for about 2 hours at 135, and then we're gonna come back and turn up the smoker for the rest of the 8 hours. You guys, check out this cold smoked salmon. I'm gonna smoke this salmon. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram to see the finished product. So yummy. I like to put this on my bagel. I don't like store-bought stuff. Let's go check out our smoked Kabanosy. So we've been smoking this sausage for about 2 hours. There's some fat leaking out right here. Look at that. That's beautiful. But most of the fat is staying inside, which that's where you get that really yummy inside, soft and chewy. The reason we keep this on a slow, low cook is because we don't want all the fats leaking all out. We just want it to be all inside and to keep it all soft and moist. We're gonna turn this up to 150, and we're gonna be back in the next 6 hours. See you guys soon. So we've been cooking the Kabanosys for about 6 hours. We're gonna go check them out and make sure that are at 165. This is our ice bath, so we can bring in our Kabanosys from outside to cool them down and rinse off the soot. And then after they're cooled down, we're gonna put them on these wire racks so they can dry out. And then after they're dry, we're gonna put them into vacuum sealed bags just because we're gifting them to a few of our favorite peeps. So I turned up the heat to 175 for the last half hour. We're gonna check our temp real quick in our sausage and make sure that it's 165. All right, it's at 165. Perfect. Oh my gosh, these smell so good. I think our neighbors can even smell it. It smells so good. I'm ready to dig in, but we gotta first cool them off. So let's go inside and cool them off and wash off all the soot. All right, let's put these in our ice bath. They're not that hot, so you can put them right in. You can already see some of the stuff coming off, the little soot, and then we're gonna take them right out. So you just need about 10 to 15 seconds to shock them and have them cool down really fast. And then once they're cool, just pull them right out onto the wire rack. I cannot wait to bag these up and take them down south for Thanksgiving. It's chewy on the inside and crunchy on the outside. And who doesn't like that? I mean, look at these. Hold on, let me take a bite. It feels like there's a casing around this whole sausage link, but it's just a whole drying process, and that's why it takes a little bit long to dry them out, but it's so worth it. We already did this recipe a few times. It's worth it, for sure. All the struggle is worth it. All right guys, so that is a wrap for our videos. We're gonna bag these things up and take them down south for Thanksgiving. But thank you so much for watching us and being a Fat Finger foodie. And we'll see you guys at our next video. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram.
Before we go, I want to say thank you to Squarespace.com for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website. Squarespace allows you to connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. Manage your members, send email communication, and leverage audience insight, all on one easy-to-use platform. We are using Squarespace to build fatfingerfoods.com, but you can also use Squarespace to build a blogging platform. Squarespace also lets you share to multiple platforms instantly, making your workflow simpler and carefree. Squarespace has decided to give our followers 14 days free as well as 10% off if you go to this link or the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for being a Fat Finger Foodie.